It is an inescapable fact that the world needs energy to keep moving and developing. With the global population increasing to 9 billion by 2050 and changes in lifestyle as we become more affluent, energy demand will only increase. With conventional oil production near its peak and the political climate in much of the world's supply fields increasingly volatile, new ways need to be found to securely meet this growing demand. Rising oil prices and technological advances have turned once non-profitable oil sands into a commercially viable fuel source. The world's eyes are on the oil sands projects in Alberta, Canada, home to almost half the planet's oil sands reserves, to help meet this challenge. Oil sands is a naturally occurring mixture of sand, clay, water and bitumen. But like conventional oil, it needs to be extracted and processed, creating a water and solids-free product that's clean enough to be sent for upgrading into end products like gasoline, diesel or jet fuel. But fuel from oil sands has become a point of debate. This debate is under particular scrutiny in Europe. The EU's Fuel Quality Directive demands that oil companies operating in Europe cut the emissions of their products 6% by 2020. To measure these reductions, the Union has adopted fossil fuel emissions footprint values. But should the EU assign a higher emissions value to oil sands than for conventional oil? The Comment Visions debate, the quarterly forum for discussing the world's significant energy topics, has been talking about oil sands and the political, environmental and financial landscape that surrounds it.
This idea of having different reference values for the carbon intensity of different types of crudes coming into Europe doesn't really fit with our place in the global oil market and doesn't really fit with the way the market works. I think it's poor value in terms of reducing carbon emissions.
The carbon intensity of oil sands is in the range of other crudes that are produced around the world.
They are on average 23% worse than conventional oil being used in Europe today. There is a range, of course. If you look at the range, it's somewhere between 18 and 49% more greenhouse gas emissions.
As we look to decarbonize the economy, it's good to put this into context. The oil sands contribute 0.1% of global GHGs.
One of the important issues, of course, is greenhouse gas emissions. In mining operations, operators are working on using less hot water to extract the bitumen from the sands. This isn't just an environmental win, it's also an economic win. Energy costs money.
Alberta is spending €4.5 billion on green and renewable and environmentally friendly technologies, including carbon capture and storage. So we're tying in the extraction and production of oil sands to more environmentally friendly technologies. Only 20% of the proven reserves are actually mineable, and those open mines which have land disturbance are not really in close proximity to populated areas.
If you look at the future energy demand, the Shell scenarios expect it to double over the period 2000 to 2050. We need all forms of energy. We need gas, and gas will make up about 50% of Shell's portfolio by 2012. We need biofuels, and Shell is the world's biggest blender of biofuels. But it also means that we need oil sands. And it's not a choice of one or the other.
Producers state that emissions have been reduced since the 1990s, and that the carbon intensity of oil sands, taken along the entire production chain, is within the same range as other crude oils, with technological innovation delivering more reductions in the future. Environmental groups argue that putting oil sands on an equal footing with conventional oil would undermine the EU's commitment to decarbonising its economy and encourage the exploitation of oil sands in less regulated regions. Oil sands operations have also prompted discussion around the immediate environmental impact, from the tailings ponds that store wastewater to the social impact of extensive land use. Oil sands is as intensely debated on a local level as it is globally. But as worldwide oil sands reserves could total twice the current reserves of conventional oil, the stakes are high. This has been just a small part of the lively and informative debate taking place on this topic at Comment Visions. Watch the debate in full at commentvisions.com and join the discussion.